Supporter Shield.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I have a headache. I legitimately have a headache.
I was so stressed.
Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast. Inter Miami, Supporter Shield champions of the 2024 MLS season. Let's freaking go, everybody. Let's go, man. Oh my goodness. What a stressful, insane. That match had everything. Everything. I don't even have I need to set up. I need to tell everyone we're live. But
Had
we
a
need to be live.
handball,
Well, two handballs.
handball.
Two handballs. Oh man, I'm
God.
out of breath. I'm excited.
I was this close to being right with my prediction. This close.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, man. Let's go. Inter Miami, Supporter Shield champions of the 2024 MLS season at Columbus, win 3-2 in just the goals. The goals were just so out of nothing. And that is like a microcosm of the Inter Miami season. Is just, it doesn't matter. We have Messi and we have Luis Suarez, and that's it.
And Drake freaking Calendar with the biggest save of the
freaking
season.
Calendar, man. That penalty save, as Cucho walked up to it. Oh man, we'll go back and give context for all of this, but Cucho Hernandez gets a penalty towards the end. Ian Frey defending as Cucho was running into the box or coming down to the left wing, and really unluckily hand out. It was like a natural position, but it was a clear handball, clear as day, arm away from the body, no doubt about it. Cucho steps up, and I'm like, what do you do? Cucho has already scored a penalty tonight. Does he go the same way? Does he get into Drake's head and go a different way? You don't know. It's such an impossible game to play. And in fairness, poorly taking penalty, but Drake Calendar guessed correctly regardless and saved it and parried it away. And that, so good, man.
Kudos to Drake. They showed the chart, his last 11
yes,
shots.
It was all over.
And it was if you look at it, mostly was to one side, and then there was a couple to the other side. He had already scored his first one to the side that he most commonly scores. So notice Drake, knowing that his first step is to the opposite side, but he was fully committed going to the other side. So I think that first step might have committed Cucho to going back to the same spot where he did the first one. And I don't know if it was mind games, if it was luck, if it was a little bit of both, but man, you cannot be upset about what we just saw today. I feel like it was a depleted bench. You also saw that. We had,
oh my gosh,
the final line had Noah Allen and Christoph in there.
The defense.
That's
there's no one in defense,
nightmares.
man. There was no support for defensive subs. The defense in general, I genuinely think the defense held up really well. And I'll be honest, I missed Columbus's first goal because I was getting water and sat down, and I thought they were still showing highlights of the first half because that's how quickly it happened. And I sat down and they were showing the Messi goal, and then they were showing the second Messi goal, the free kick, which was incredible. We haven't even touched on that yet. I'm sure we'll talk plenty about it, but so all I'm hearing is the goals and the commentary of the goals, and then all of a sudden I see a replay of Rossi scoring, and I'm like, when the hell did that happen? What is going on? Jose, we're champions. So all of a sudden I see replay of Rossi scoring. I'm like, when is that from? And then I'm like, oh, they just scored. And then that's not even the craziest part. Is not even 45 seconds after, freaking Luis Suarez gets on the end of just another crazy sequence of events and bounces of the ball and heads it home as Schulte just completely fumbles it. It's one of those things that we've seen Drake Calendar do in the past, and we're like, oh my gosh, he completely cost us the game. The Columbus keeper did it. It worked out for us. It's unbelievable. Oh, this game had everything. Unbelievable. We did it. Chris, we did it. Transatlantic, we did it. Let's freaking go, man. Someone put Drake channeled his inner Debo. Debo had a massive game today, by the way, in Champions League. I don't know if any of you saw, but Inter Miami, man. Inter Miami. That is the story tonight. Inter Miami, Supporter Shield champions. I can't say it. I can't stop saying it. I can't say it enough. is so crazy. It is so crazy. I'm gonna make it seem like we overcame a lot of things because we overcame absences by Messi. We overcame absences by Luis Suarez. And it'll be like, yeah, but you guys still have like a super talented roster, blah, blah, blah. Everyone said we were not going to survive those absences, that Cincinnati was going to overtake us because they beat us right before the Copa America break. They said Cincinnati's going to absolutely leave you guys behind in the dust. You guys are not going to be able to keep up with Columbus. And through it all, this team, this Inter Miami team, which will now live in club history forever, did it and won the Supporter Shield and did it in honestly great fashion, beating the Columbus Crew at Columbus.
Yeah,
that is as difficult as it could have been.
The defending champs and all those obstacles that we overcame that you mentioned. We also had the brutal stretch of international games and all the players who left. I mean, it wasn't just Suarez. It was Gomez. It was Rojas. We had so many players out, and even with all those players out, we maintained. If anything, we took this to another level, and we saw this team just come together, coalesce, and really get behind a certain scheme of play. And you just cannot be more happy. I mean, this is our first in season true MLS trophy. So we really, I mean, because everybody always said the first one, that's Leagues Cup, that's a made up thing. No. This is the MLS Supporter Shield. We've come away with it, beating Columbus at Columbus, and guess what? We still have 2 more matches, and we might be able to take another thing, and it's going to be the record for most points in the MLS Cup in the MLS history.
Yes, I honestly, my brain hadn't even gotten to processing that that's still an opportunity now. Jose, we haven't. I'm sorry. I was putting up the Messi sign. I haven't heard from you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast. Everyone, thank you for joining, by the way. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe if you guys are watching on YouTube real quick. Again, just delaying Jose's joining here. Thank you to our chief Heron Heads, Matias Chao, Mani V. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, you'll find a link in the description wherever you are listening, as well as a link to our merch store, Discord server, all that fun stuff. But anyways, Jose, how you feeling, man?
I don't know, man. You're like... It's a lot.
Let's go,
bro. I was
Tata in.
Mike B agree. I don't know. I don't care. Look, right now we gotta just take it all in. We gotta embrace that, like David said prior. Yeah, we this is our first in league trophy, right? It's first of hopefully we have another one now that we want to get. It would be nice to get the record, but I'm not. I'm still like, let's see, because we have literally another 2 yellow cards. These guys are doing it on purpose. I at this point, they're doing it on purpose.
Come on, Jose, man. Ride the wave. What are you doing?
I don't know, but Redondo's out for Toronto. No, because now you got me like hype. Like, all right, what's next? You can get literally the record. But yeah, man, I'm excited. What's there to say? What is there to say?
We are awesome, and we are champions. That is what there is to say, man. And honestly.
At the end of that game, man, we were all
but you know what?
It's another Inter Miami game where it's at the end, but we're like, why?
You know what it is, Jose? You know what it is, Jose? And I had this response to someone on Twitter who was like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm scared. I'm scared." And this was before the match. And I said, "You're scared because it matters. It matters. Tonight's game matters, and you're scared because you want them to win because the outcome of this match matters. It matters to the project of bringing Messi and bringing all the superstars. It matters to the determination of success of this season, and it matters for the legacy of this club moving forward. This was like, guys, we won what some argue is a more difficult trophy to win than the MLS Cup. We won what traditionally in European leagues and many leagues around the world is the trophy. Like it is the domestic trophy. So like I'm excited and I'm hyped and I'm bouncing off the walls because like, wow, like we did it. Inter Miami, who a year and a half ago were the laughing stock of the league, bottom of the table. Messi joins, Busquets and Alba join. Suarez joined, of course, in the offseason, but they have, for good reason, completely changed the trajectory of this club moving forward forever. And like, in my opinion, yes. Do we want to win more trophies? Absolutely. Is the MLS Cup still important? Absolutely. But this, to me, validates everything. Everything. The Supporter Shield is a massive trophy as far as the North American CONCACAF like federation, as far as that and those sets of leagues are concerned, this is a massive achievement. And I don't want to undervalue and undersell that. The Supporter Shield is a massive accomplishment, in my opinion. There you go. So, Jose, you got some stats for us, man?
Not
Is
yet.
that what the pen click? Oh, okay.
No,
The pen click was that you were going to start writing the stats. Catch up. I told you to be ready.
Henry, I was not negative about the goal. No, I was just saying we need to learn how to play with him. Today we did really good. I mean, to be honest, I don't know how we did as a collective very good. I feel like Messi said, well, no, I'm going to win today. And that's what I felt happened on the field today.
So let's jump into the match a little bit. Jose, you can get some stats and I'll sort of do a quick recap here. My initial thought was this is a very bad start because the very first set of plays, it was like a couple quick passes and then Redondo played it to no one and passed it straight out of bounds. And Redondo, up to like a certain point where he got a red card on the defender that may or may not have fouled him, he had a rough match, in my opinion.
One of his worst, if we're being honest.
The passes were it almost felt like the moment was getting too big for him, and he was just very unsure of what he wanted to do and passing it like in between the spots he actually wanted to go. And it was rough, but like after the first 5-10 minutes passed, Columbus, Cucho had a goal disallowed for offside, if I'm not mistaken. We settled down. We started to control the possession a little bit. We calmed it down. We started taking over the possession percentage and the number of passes, and we slowed it down a little bit, let the match breathe a little bit. And then, I mean, it was one of those matches where, like, if you're on Twitter and X and people are voicing their opinions, you know, Messi's not having a great match. He's not super involved. But all it takes is one singular moment for him to completely change the course of a match, the outcome of a match. And it was a fantastic pass from Jordi Alba, who had cut in towards the middle of the field and played it in over the top to Messi, who was making a direct run. And man, like, what can you say? Messi with the ball is just magic. He has the ball on a string when he has his feet next to it, and he just dribbles past, the ball's bouncing and juggling all around, dribbles it past two defenders, and just he put like his toenail on the ball to get it past Schulte on the first goal. Like, he just tapped it so in such a tiny little spot, and the ball just like trickled in. It was delightful. Delightful. And then you just see him running. He was hitting that celly, just running like, yeah, let's go, man. We did it. We're up. And let me tell you, when Luis Suarez earned the free kick, I posted on X, follow us at the Heron Heads. I said, it would be a great night for Messi to end the streak of his scoreless streak from free kicks. And it was the perfect distance, the perfect angle. And Twelman talked about this for a long time after that goal. And every time they show the replay, Columbus did not set the wall properly to defend the Messi kick. And you have to be perfect when you're playing against Messi to have a chance. You have to be perfect. And they didn't make the wall wide enough. And Messi bent it around the wall.
Beautiful.
Unstoppable if you give him that gap. And it just beautiful. Schulte,
all my kids were sleeping. I woke them all up. My God. My wife was pissed off.
I was jumping around.
I told her it's a put your kids to bed kind of game. I don't. It is what it is.
Oof, I had to put the kids to bed around like 20th minute, and I came back and I don't think I missed anything of note. I missed the Cucho goal that was disallowed, and I think I missed the the Cello goal that was disallowed right off of a corner.
It wasn't Cello. It was actually would have been an own goal. Yeah.
So Miami also had an own goal, which was disallowed.
That in itself, I was so confused. I was like, how can it be an own goal?
It was called offside. It was called offside, right? And it was called offside by Gomez, who wasn't necessarily involved in touching the ball, but he made an attempt at the ball, and because of that was ruled offside. So the play was ended at that point before the ball went in.
It sounds stupid to me. It's like they kicked it in and it was their own goal.
There was a lot of calls that I'm sure will be like talked about, and a lot of people will be like, "Oh, was Busquets' foul supposed to be a red? Should it have been a red? Was the red given to Camacho? Should that have been a second yellow?" Which I totally think it should be a yellow. It's a dangerous foul regardless if he hit the ball first or not. Similarly, I think Busquets may have warranted a yellow. I don't know.
Not a red.
Not a red. I agree.
I
And
see it.
and there was a couple little calls there, right? A couple little calls. We'll never know if the ball went out of bounds before it touched Noah Allen's hand. I think that was very poor by Noah Allen to even have his hand up in the first place. Completely unnatural position
That
to have
was
your
so
hand.
bad.
It was almost like he was going to say that, "Oh, it's our ball, like it's our kick," and he just like
He
he made
gets
his hand as
but
big as
again-
possible.
Okay, but again on that play, it was literally out. If I felt like it was out, and
Here's what you do though. You
close.
don't raise your hand up.
when you're
I-
when you're there,
down.
you
basically-
you cannot risk it. Like with Fraze, you understand it more. He's diving. Even the hand wasn't even out exposed. It was in a natural position, but it just clipped it. You just feel really bad for Frey in that moment, and that's why the football gods graced us with a beautiful save by Drake after that. But Noah Allen's, you knew for a fact that one was going to hit the back of the net.
Really quick, I predicted 3-1 to Columbus. It was reverse psychology. It was a long con. Inter Miami all the way, never in doubt. Also, I bet Inter Miami to win, Messi to score, Luis Suarez to score.
so
Plus
you just-
1,000.
So
who's-
much winning.
Who's the bigger winner today? You know what I mean?
I mean, it's we're all winners in different capacities.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
was that a tease of ratings? Who was the biggest winner?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
you
was.
ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess Messi.
Messi man match. Okay. Yeah.
And then
I'm not gonna
let's
even
go-
keep going.
let-
Man of the match, Messi 8.5 ratings. Drake had a 7.6
Oh
rating.
my God, Drake, man.
And yeah,
Alba
that
had,
was
and Alba had to have a good rating too.
Luis Suarez 7.4.
What did Alba have?
I don't know, Dave.
I'll check real quick because I
I got
agree.
it. 6.8.
That's surprising.
Literally, our whole back line had a stinker of a game, which leads me to least of the match.
Cello. No, not Cello. Redondo.
Oh,
Oh, maybe Noah.
Either-
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
let's go.
quite a few candidates here.
Fire Will Dave. Let's go.
I say Noah Allen.
I'm
but
gonna say
okay.
Redondo.
None of you are wrong. Federico Redondo 6.3, Noah Allen 6.3, Ian Frey 6.3. But from everybody, the worst of the worst, Cello 6.2, with another yellow card to boot.
Bro,
So
this
he's
the,
guy
out.
yellow,
Cello,
the yellow
man.
card got him.
This guy Cello. This guy
Yeah,
Cello.
funny 'cause
Maybe
Cello-
without the yellow
Cello-
card, he would have
From the
such a bad
get,
rating.
from the jump, I
Cello
was just
had-
like,
The thing is, Cello
doing,
in this
man?
one, Cello had some nice moves in this one, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like 3 or 4 times, I was like, "Wow, that was actually really nice." But yeah, and
He-
most
he
of the time,
also had the
anytime he-
stereotypical
I know.
hello head in hands. What are you doing, plays? He took a
I
ball from Messi very early in this match, and I was like, "Who do
Give
you
me the
think
ball.
you
Give me
are?
that thing.
Who do you think you are, man?"
He said, "Give me that rock."
Oh,
But man, Ian Frey, like I feel bad for him for getting that handball because other than that
oh
handball,
man.
he
And you
moved
could
the
see in
ball
his
up
face.
so nice. Like I wrote it in our Discord. He looks so silky on the ball from the center back position. He's just knifing up the middle of the
Yeah,
field.
man.
Nobody
And down
can
the
get
wings
around him.
too.
It's
seemed natural.
just so nice.
It
He
seemed
has a-
natural. It's like I never seen Cello look so natural.
No, Cello on the
Going up the
balls
pitch.
is a train wreck, and then you have Ian Frey on the ball, who's a jazz musician, just going up the pitch. It's incredible. The
I
difference.
think he's
the stark difference.
just a very capable on the ball defender that can actually dribble, and
Mhm.
it was very unfortunate. I am super happy for obvious reasons that Drake saved the penalty, but for Ian Frey's sake specifically, because you could see how of course, how disappointing he was, but like the implications of that penalty could have been massive. Like it could have completely changed the dynamic. I mean, we would not be in this hyperactive, positive mood right now.
We all of us.
the Royal.
But man, like, yeah, Frey. I think Frey had a very nice game on the ball. I thought maybe there was like 1 or 2 plays. I mean, I can't remember because I was so focused on him on his
There's-
handball.
There's one that he was dribbling up the pitch and he just passed it to Cello immediately.
Unbelievable,
turnover.
man.
Just immediate turnover.
but leading up to the penalty that he gave away or that he conceded, I guess. I think it was his giveaway. It was either him or David Ruiz that played a really errant pass that was completely unnecessary for that stage in the game. And this is, I'm gonna like, I don't want to touch on negative parts too much because this is a very joyous evening, but we need to learn how to close out games. For the love of God,
it drives me nuts, man. No, but it's part of it, Julio, because we're gonna, now we're getting to the thick of things, right? And it's like, bro, why am I like why do I have a heart attack right now?
It's like 60th minute. Tata's like, all right, boys,
park the bus right now.
Noah Allen, Christoph, you guys got this.
Yeah, they just put right now. They just put the like the standings and the results of around the league. It is so nice to look up at the results and be like, I don't give a flying F.
Yep,
like I don't care.
Right. That's right.
I don't care.
That's right.
Doesn't matter.
Why, Dave?
Because we're the supporter shield. Like we
There
won the
you
supporter
go.
shield. Doesn't matter.
They can't
It
catch
doesn't
us,
matter.
baby. Can't catch us.
It don't matter.
Argue with your mama.
So possession, Miami won 53%. Shoes,
surprising.
So
Put that
the first 35 minutes
blender and drink it. Yeah.
The first 35 minutes, I felt like we had the ball. Maybe 3 minutes, like we couldn't maintain possession. It was either they would dispossess us, or we just have a god awful pass that would go straight out of bounds. And then it felt like they had the ball the entire time. I was in the car watching on my phone, and I turned to my dad who was driving. And I was like, "This does not look good. This does not look good." And then I got in the car on the way back, and I listened to the rest of the first half. So I heard both Messi goals over the radio call, which was honestly, it's a shame that I didn't get to watch it. But hearing the radio call was fantastic.
Electric, man.
My God.
Electric.
It was so great. I called my dad. I'm like, "Don't worry, Dad, we got this." And he was like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh, it was so good. It was
XG. Just let me trickle it in as you guys
go for it. Go sprinkle it in.
XG Columbus 1.82, Miami 1.2. So we XG'd them by a lot. And that's with their two free kicks.
The two penalties.
Penalties, yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Drake just saved us, man.
I'm telling you, the defense,
the defense was pretty good. Us, and I feel like he almost killed us every time those long ball passes just I was like, bro, this guy doesn't want
the one that was the free kick from the top of the box that it sort of like just like blooped over, and he kind of fainted like he was gonna go for it, but then he didn't, and then the Columbus guy kind of did the same thing. Oh, that was terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, the Christoph that just trickled past everybody.
Oh my God. I'm like, there it is.
There was a lot of scary moments, man. A lot of scary moments.
No, it was stressful. It was super stressful.
Yeah. But we won.
Then we won. And then there was a couple chances late where I was like, please score and put me out of my misery. But that would be too easy.
That would have made me Nostradamus of the century with the 4-2 call.
That would have been pretty impressive, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Can
we had chances too. It could have happened.
Can we just dedicate the next 5 minutes to just Messi plays?
Yeah.
Because I want to tell you, at the end of the game, I thought, but it at the end of the game, he had this. It looked like he was trapped in between two Columbus players, and it just seemed kind of like I think he's just gonna park the bus per what we've been doing the whole time.
Oh my God, I know what you're talking about.
And this guy just like, I don't care. I don't park the bus. That's not what I do.
He
That's
put both of them in the spin cycle. And
when he just flicked it towards the back and just split the double team, basketball reference. He just literally just found David Ruiz in the top of the key, and David Ruiz did what, Julio?
Oh my God, kicked it as hard as he could into a defender.
He's gonna have a huge bruise on his butt.
It's unbelievable. He's just like,
I was like, what a world class play just ended with David Ruiz. Bam,
there was also a run that Messi made that they just shoved him right out of the play in the penalty box. And I was on the Discord and I was like, "What?" And nobody responded. I'm like, "Man, was that just not was it not even close to being a foul?"
That was the play that Luis Suarez had a beautiful pass. It might have been just a little bit too much on it, because if he would have put it on the money, that would have had him. That was a hat trick right there, man.
From my point of view, the defender just launched Messi out of the way.
To me, it was close to being shoulder to shoulder. They didn't really ever show a replay of it,
No,
No,
they just
But
moved
I
on
don't.
as if
It
nothing
didn't.
happened.
It didn't
Twelman-
look like he put it in his back. Like I think
Twelman would
if he
never.
puts his shoulder in the back of Messi, don't get me started on Twelman. And this match, he was on a different level, man. He levitated to a different stratosphere.
You know, in
Well, you were on a
in
train of
Step
thought.
Brothers, you know, in Step Brothers when
It's
they're
gone.
singing that song, and then oh no, when the little son is at the dinner table, and he's like, "What's this guy's deal?" My dad again, who doesn't really watch the games, you just hear Twelman talking, and my dad turned to me and was like, "What's that guy's problem?" And I'm like, he hates us.
Dude, he was talking about Busquets until like
The
the
whole game.
75th minute, 80th minute.
What was the one that they actually got the red card on? He was like, "Well, I mean,"
You
and
gotta
then all of a sudden he just
retroactively give it to Busquets.
No,
now.
and then when Frey had the handball, and like no one sort of reacted at first, and the Columbus players were sort of making a fuss about it, but Twelman just moved on, and then he was like, "Wait a minute," he's like, hold me back." There might be. I think they're gonna look at a handball here. Like he was
so
so in
excited.
on that man. I
He's
mean,
pumped.
it's
He's
good
like,
drama. It's good drama for him. He's just like my ex about to go crazy with engagement right now. But yeah, man. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say with 12man?
But what do you guys think about our formation? The five in the back.
It's been working, honestly.
I
That's-
gotta say, and I mentioned this earlier. The defense, I think, all things considered, played well, man. Like Columbus is one of the most dangerous attacking teams in the league. And I think they held up pretty well. You have to remember, like David Martinez who's spotted back in training, which is a good thing. Hopefully he'll be able to rejoin. I'm gonna hope that it's just by the playoff time.
That's what I heard.
But Toto was out due to suspension, yellow card accumulation, and considering that you had Ian Frey, who we all love and have a lot of confidence in, but paired with Noah Allen, who recently has had good form as a center back, in my opinion, I think they held up very well overall in this match. A lot of plays that make you super nervous and super stressed out, but I mean, outside of two very bad moments, Noah Allen's handball and Ian Frey's unlucky handball, I would say, I think they held up very well, man. Like you have to consider the opponent and factor that in when you're assessing that. But I think the formation as like it was like a 5-3-2 with Messi and Suarez up front, and then at times sort of like a 4-3-3 depending on like who overlapped. I thought it was interesting. I thought it at times gave Columbus trouble, but then Columbus sort of figured it out. And then at the end, it's hard to say because we were just sitting back.
Yeah, I think the whether you call it 3 at the back, 5 in the back with Busquets in the middle of it all, it's worked for us, say over the last month and a half so well that they had to go back to it, especially against a team as potent as Columbus here. And yeah, I mean, look at how what I think that has been the biggest tweak by Tata that has made the biggest impact is going ahead and saying Busquets for this club. It helps us the most if you're playing that central center back position, as long as Bright is in front of you, because that combination, that stack of Busquets and Bright in the defensive midfield and in the back line, I think is so potent, and it's made all the difference for us. As long as Busquets has coverage by two other center backs flanking him, this has worked out more often than not because his intelligence and his ability to pass and orchestrate everything from that back spot is just, you can't replace that. So I think, and of course, and we've mentioned it before, we don't want to see just two center backs with one of them being Busquets as well, because he does lose the coverage at that point. So that 3 or 5 in the back with Busquets in the middle, that's it. I have to give Tata all the praise in the world for committing to that, because it is tough to commit to that once you bring in a player like Busquets, who's, I know he started as a center back, but the majority of his career, and he's had so much success as a CDM. And to be able to move him at this stage in his career and stick to that is I give all the credit to Tata and the staff for committing to that. And now we're seeing the benefit of it.
Well, they're also doing something with Busi where they kind of have him drifting, not necessarily playing just the center back role. There, he got caught one time by Rossi, which was a beautiful shot. Honestly, I was like, I mean, it is what it is. He had a nice like towards the back right of the goal. I was like, man, that looked that looked like it had some mustard on it. But no, I mean, he held his own. He's always been holding his own, Dave. Honestly, with ever since they've been putting him in there, and he constantly makes the right decisions back there, directing the defense. It's tough. It must be tough, man. I mean, look, this isn't our best back line, the one that we played with today, ultimately. And we're trying to play with, against Chucho and Rossi, and these guys are, man, they're world class. I mean, it is what it is. These guys, they know how to put the ball in the back of the net, and they do it often. So I'm happy we limited them as much as we did. I wonder how it would have been had they not gotten the red. Which we're gonna find out. That's the truth. We're gonna find out.
If you think it was stressful with them at 10,
and guess what? That's what we watch for, right? That we're excited for that. We're gonna see this in the playoffs. This same exact matchup. We're gonna see.
But now you know what? But now you know what the biggest difference is. No matter what, Inter Miami will be the home team, because when Rossi and we have Messi. I mean, I don't. Oh, on the supporter shield. Yeah, no. But we have home field advantage. When Rossi scored the goal coming out of the half, that place exploded, like it erupted. And same thing when Cucho scored the penalty to bring it again to a 1 goal difference. That place was on fire, man. Like that makes a difference, man. Like the nerves. Like I think it affected Redondo in today's match. Who someone asked real quick. I don't know what Redondo brings to the table that Rojas can't. Tonight he didn't bring anything more than what Rojas would have brought. Redondo had a very bad match, and I think you have to attribute some of that to the home field advantage that Columbus had. That place was.
And the players, man.
It felt loud off of the screen.
I want to agree with Miguel here. You couldn't tell. You couldn't tell that they were down a man.
Twelman said that. So
it's insane. And in fact, it looked like there was space for them. I think I wrote it in the Discord as well. I'm like, how is there so much space for this Columbus team when they're down a man? I understand that you're trying to just run out the clock and just park the bus. But even before we were getting to those latter stages, the midfield was wide open, and they were just moving the ball super easy. It was very scary, and thank God. And the thing is, there's no ifs, ands, or buts like that. Camacho, he earned those 2 yellows. There's no debate there. It wasn't a judgment call by the refs.
No doubt.
So I don't feel bad. Oh well, what if no. What if nothing? Like he earned and deserved. Those are Toto yellows, like he got those.
And the same thing that we say about the crew. Guess what? They were playing us, and they were frustrated too. Whenever we would get the ball in their side of the bench, they were pooping their pants. They were like, "Oh my god, this guy's gonna put me in a blender again." It is what it is, and you have that in the back of your mind. How it happened in the end, how that didn't end up in a goal. It's so stupid to me that when Messi did that to these poor innocent people, he just put them in a blender and like just gave the most heavenly touch pass to the other side to David Ruiz, perfectly like winding up Chris, your boy Ruiz. Just I don't know, man. I know
he had a couple good plays. That was not one of them. One of them.
No. By the way, Chris asked, was Gomez noticeable tonight?
I want to. Do you want to answer that? Because I have something that I want to say about that.
You go.
So, something that was brought up in the broadcast, and also leading into the match, was the way that you can beat Columbus is by pressing them in their own half. And that is something that we saw in the first matchup against Columbus, where Gomez stole the ball and it led directly to a goal. And it was the opening goal, if I'm not mistaken. Gomez was noticeable in his pressing ability and his energy and his tenacity of getting after the ball. Yes, I thought he had a much, much better match tonight than he did against whoever we played. I have like a head rush right now, so I can't remember who we played last. I thought tonight he had a much better game. He felt much better positioned, better synergy with Alba and with that left side. I thought he was much better, definitely noticeable for me, and like in a good way noticeable, not like Redondo was noticeably bad.
So one thing I thought what you were gonna say was when they were playing us, and obviously we don't, when we have Messi and we have Suarez in the front line and we have Gomez, obviously the only one that's gonna go vertical and try to press the other team via the offense is going to be Gomez. So what ends up happening is these guys are just shifting, looking at the other side, and they're just not letting it. They're not letting them get the ball to him in a way where you know what happened. They would almost have all the attention on Gomez, and guess who was behind them? Alba. And that was literally happening the whole match, where you'd constantly be seeing. You see, now you guys ready? Everybody loves this. You see Gomez going up here, and you see just Alba just trickling behind them, and it was an easy outlet every single time, and it didn't connect. But there's a few really nice passes into the box where I was like, man, it's just the crew they're good. They're good. It is what it is. It was Charlotte, by the way. Charlotte, because it was similar the way that Charlotte played us also was very similar to how Columbus was playing us, where it was like, yo, we can get a nice pass in, man.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it helps, like, sometimes those runs just help with spacing. Even if you don't play the ball in behind, it helps with spacing because it drags defenders, right? Like, they have to respect that Alba might be in behind. They have to respect that Gomez might run in behind and Alba's going to play him. So it helps with the spacing, and it really helps when you have two extremely capable players. Like, towards the end of the match, when we were trying to kill it off, I was like, if the ball is not in Alba, Busquets, or Messi's feet, I don't want you to have it. The ball would go to Ruiz.
Gomez,
Gomez, correct. Agreed. But there was just like, that list is very short, is my point.
And right. Ruiz taking the air out of the ball on the sideline. Oh my God. So terrifying.
There was so many scary moments, man. There was the Cucho shot at the end. That thing had some venom on it, and that scared me to death. I don't think he missed it by that much.
I mean, it was the guy. We said it in the pre-match, right? We're saying this guy scares us. It is what it is. Like, this guy is just absolutely scary. He's constantly on the ball. He's great at passing. He has great vision, and he has chooch. His Chucho has chooch. Every time he hits it, it's constantly a threat.
Isn't it Cucho?
I don't care.
Yes, it is.
He lost.
So Cucho.
Chucho, put him in a box. Actually, we did not.
Doghouse. Put him in the doghouse.
We did not put him in the doghouse at all. They
He's
tried
a pen merchant.
I'm gonna tell you, we tried to put him in the doghouse. And he just broke the doghouse. He's like, you're not putting me in here.
He busted out.
Man.
He mad
broke
dogged us.
Chain.
Oh
but
my
no,
goodness.
man. Luckily, we had a bigger dog.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, man.
Unbelievable.
Somebody asked a question before, and I don't know. This is interesting. I just found it to be very interesting. Based on Inter's current form, do you think they'll make it to the finals?
I think single elimination matches are extremely difficult. However, when you have Messi, you like there's no situation where you're going to be like, I don't think they can beat this team. Especially now, given what we did tonight, I don't think there's any situation where you can say, yeah, I don't see them winning this match. So if you do that,
did they change it? Did they change the rules? It's now single elimination. Wasn't it like best of 3?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Regardless,
I remember last year.
I thought it was like 2 games or
I'll
games.
check.
Yeah, I remember last year I was thinking like, I'm like, oh my God, it's such a ridiculous amount of games for this tournament.
Which with that in mind, I would always think, I was like, okay, if it's the best out of 3 games, I was like, who's gonna beat?
It was like, I think it was 2. It was like home and away and like a third if necessary.
Round one is best of 3.
Yeah.
Round 1 after the wild card matches to get in the last teams. Then round 1 is best of 3. Then conference semifinals are just single elimination. Conference finals, single elimination. Final, single elimination.
So the first round
will be a wild ride.
The first round will be against, presumably the worst team in the Eastern Conference,
like a Charlotte, possibly a Charlotte.
Yeah, again,
the
matches will be difficult because I think everyone in general just plays a little bit tighter. But you have to favor Inter Miami in every single match. Like, I don't think there's any way around it. So as far as like making it to the final, I still have to favor Inter Miami's chances of getting there. it's very difficult, but it's difficult for any team. There's injuries that could happen. Luckily, Inter Miami is a relatively healthy team. Like when you think of the
And deep.
totality of the squad,
We're pretty
very deep, very deep. The yellow card accumulation goes away.
Thank God.
Or resets to 0 for the playoffs. I
Yeah.
think
And then we'll
Toto
accumulate more.
Toto may still eventually accumulate and miss like the semifinal match, God forbid. But all things considered, like Messi is a very complete team in and of himself. But Inter Miami is a very complete and deep squad where they have everything needed to make a deep run. You have to favor them to get bare minimum to the conference finals. And then again, like you will have to favor them in the single elimination matches, regardless of the opponent.
And you know that the games aren't going to end in a draw once you get to those single elimination matches. Like that's been our biggest bane is closing out games. But typically we're leading those games and then we blow it at the end to allow the draw. In this case, again, look at a lot of the guys that we have on this team. Like we have killers on this team. So if it does have to go to shootouts, we know what we have. Like I feel like that's also an added edge to this club.
Yeah, and I would say if any of these matches were to go to pens, Drake had a stop tonight, and that was great, and that was fantastic on a penalty shoot. But he's a good penalty keeper.
Today, we saw it today.
That's what I'm saying. And we saw it in the Leagues Cup. Like he saved a lot of really clutch penalties last season. This season, obviously, tonight was a prime example of what Drake Callender can do. Again, not the best penalty in the world that I've seen taken, but you got to still stop it.
No doubt.
So the combination of things, the way this squad's put together, yeah, I think Inter Miami, they have to be favorites to win the MLS Cup. And you have to think that they make a deep run just because of the availability of the squad. Like everyone's getting healthy at the right time, and just the depth. The depth is, to me, it's overwhelming.
If it's not us, it would be, I guess, for favorites, right? I would say
it would still be us, LA Galaxy, and then Columbus will still be among like the top favorites. Like if you're talking about like Vegas odds, and then probably LAFC probably up there, but those are probably the top 3-4 that you would be like, yeah, they can make a serious run.
But out of the East, I don't see any. I don't see other than Columbus. I don't see much of a threat.
No, it's the two most complete teams because you look at Columbus, right? And it's one of the highest scoring teams and the best defense.
So yeah, and great manager, great.
Yeah, exactly. So they have a lot of pieces working for them too, but sometimes you need a Hulk. You need that guy.
And guess what? Maybe and now all of a sudden he's in talks for the MVP race when he was out so many games.
Oh my gosh.
Just crazy.
His goal contribution amounts are crazy. Like staggering when you consider how few matches he's played. It's staggering. Like it's unbelievable. This guy is unbelievable.
Since he got back, I think he's been back for 6 games, and I think he's scored in 5.
He's played like 16 total matches this season, and he has 17 goals and like 15 assists. Get out of town, man. That's 2 goal contributions a match. Are you kidding me? That's outrageous.
So
he's pretty good.
So they say.
Bright future, let me tell you.
So they say.
Oh, it's unbelievable, man.
We plucked them from our farm, from our little farm that we have here.
Cuidado, watch out. Tread lightly. Read the room, Jose. Read the room.
Yeah, we plucked up our farm team, PSG.
Yeah,
that's true. That's a good point.
Neymar's next, right?
Yeah, so I think this comment. Imagine finishing on top just to lose in the playoffs later. That's gonna fumble. I would possible, say it's possible that coming up against Nancy again, maybe and now I don't know if that's so much of a disadvantage anymore because you would jokingly be like, oh, Nancy, but also we've beat Columbus twice now, so that counts for something. Was the first one a late winner that was kind of on a weird broken play? Sure,
take it.
Yeah, you take it.
I
Like,
mean, today Tolman was saying how many of the he said 2 of the goals that we had today were basically fumbles on Columbus. It was just them and their miscommunication, and they're okay with it because they're so talented. That was his explanation.
yeah, and you could argue the same for 2 penalty
100%.
chances for Inter Miami conceding. Like,
Correct.
it's that is part of the game. Like, it's part of the game. I don't understand that argument at all. Like, it's
Dumbest thing
lack
ever.
of focus. It's lack of focus, and that can happen at any moment. It could lead to a red card. It can lead to a penalty. It can lead to your goalkeeper going for a ball that he completely misses and Luis Suarez heading it into an open net.
I don't know.
Like, out of nowhere.
Happens all the
No,
time.
but it's like, that's a silly argument to me because those are all elements of just
How many
lack of
times,
focus
And
bro,
you
how
see
many-
it at all levels.
how-
You see it
how
on
many
all
times do
levels
we do that?
in all sports?
Yeah.
Oh, but us. How many times it happened to us where we had an ill-advised pass by our back line? We're dealing with that all year.
We see it in the Premier League. We see it all over the place.
All
Like,
over, man.
like
You
it
find a
happens.
dozen
These are
examples every
things that
day.
happens, and they don't count for less goals. You know, they still count for a goal. It's 1 point. Like, figure it out. Yeah, bad luck. Too bad. Figure it out.
Get over it.
Oh, what an exciting evening, guys. What an absolutely exciting evening. I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end. So next match, because we're back in action Saturday, continuing to go for the season points record, which is now we got the hardest one of the remaining 3, in my opinion. But now things get kind of interesting because Argentina have World Cup qualifiers, if I'm not mistaken, or
Yes.
I can't recall if they're qualifiers or friendlies.
Qualifiers.
Okay, so they have those coming up in about a week, and Messi seems like he's going to go. I think I saw today that he was definitely going. But we have Toronto at Toronto, which is a difficult fixture to go to Canada to win, and then we would have at home against New England.
I believe it's in between Toronto and when we go to New England.
Right, correct.
So
Correct.
I don't think it's going to impact him playing in these last games. From
Well, it depends because he can't play 4 matches in the span of a week and a half.
Right.
Is Toronto indoors or outdoors?
Indoors.
Because the weather's starting to turn now.
Toronto FC outdoor stadium.
I'm gonna and I'm gonna be honest. This is where maybe this is gonna be.
It's perfect football weather, man. Saturday's gonna be high 64, low 56. Delicious.
Yeah, but we're talking about Inter Miami.
Delicious.
Like, we've seen what happens to Tua Tagovailoa when he plays in the cold weather in the 50s. So we don't want these guys to start cramping up.
No, that'll be fine. It's perfect weather.
No, what I'm more concerned with, honestly, is will Tata start to say, well, we already got the supporter shield. Do we actually need to have them going up to Toronto and playing this game?
Here's the thing. Again, I think Miami is a very deep squad. Will it make it less likely if Messi or Suarez or Busquets play less, or Alba or any of like our A squad members? Yeah, of course. But I do still think, like, we joke about Campana, but Campana is a capable striker. We joke about like some of the players that come in behind. We joke about like the drop off between Messi and the next player, which is fair, but they're still capable players behind the starters that can get results if needed. And while I think that will likely manage minutes, I don't think he'll completely omit players from the squad. Maybe Suarez. I think Suarez of the older players that we have, the more veteran players, the Barca boys, I think he's the one that needs the rest the most, all things considered. Messi going on international duty, that is a different story. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't play again for Inter Miami until the playoffs, just for workload management. Depends how Argentina uses him, but for him, now that the supporter shield and now that the supporter shield's locked up, that has to be his priority. Because like these matches are inconsequential other than being in the record book.
More hardware. And when do we celebrate this feat?
It's gonna have to be
New England,
the 19th. Right?
It's gonna have to be because it's at Toronto.
I believe we were invited to go and raise the shield with them.
Mira eso. We'll talk about that later. I guess.
When I say we, I mean I was invited, not you guys.
Oh, okay, perfect.
You'll see me there. I'll be like
10 pictures. Make sure you live stream on your on our TikTok account at the Heron Heads.
We'll do.
blow the dust off that thing.
Oh man, what an absolutely awesome, bonkers, amazing night. Inter Miami beat Columbus 3-2, a night that will go down in club history. Do you guys have any other closing thoughts here? I don't want it to end because this is just like, man, it's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, the blood's pumping. I just want to. I don't know. I want to thank the club. I want to thank everybody who's tuned in to listen with us and has been a part of this wild ride of this season because, like we've said, crazy, crazy, crazy up and down. We were able to pretty much control the top of the table for the majority of the season, but having all the players come in and out, and I know a lot of people were worried about this club and whether we could survive without Messi, and we were able to stick it out. We watched this club thrive with and without Messi, and now let's enjoy this accomplishment together as one fan base. Whether you're here for Messi or you're here for this club or you're here for both, let's enjoy it together. Let's really, really get together, get behind this club, and let's see if we can make a run for history now in the short term and make a run for the MLS Cup as well.
No doubt.
Well said. Well said. And with that, guys, thank you for tuning into the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. If you guys are hanging out on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe. If you guys are watching on X, retweet, repost. Make sure you guys are following us for all things Inter Miami and Messi. And we'll catch you.
Subscribe.
Like, subscribe. Saturday will be live post match, so please be sure to join us after the Toronto match. And we'll see you then. Bye.
Thank you.